Rejoice! The princess is getting married. And she will marry this new character that was introduced about 2 episodes ago. And she will get the throne of the Martian. She will assume the throne. Now, here's the thing, okay? A couple episodes back, the princess, or the fraud princess, announced to the entire public that she is going to be taking Slain as her husband. Now, to the general public, besides the top people, they all believe that the fraud princess was the real Hime-sama. And so, isn't this going to be kind of complicated, like, complicate some things? Because you got to think about this, okay? You already had a marriage arrangement, kind of, with Slain. I mean, like I said, nobody knows that that was the fraud princess. They thought it was the real princess. So, the princess just popping up out of nowhere in the middle of this episode on a pirated broadcast at that, and then saying, like, I'm going to marry this new guy right here, and I will assume the throne. Think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. I mean, in logic terms, if you were to do something like that when you've already announced, even though we know as the viewer that that wasn't really the princess, but everybody else in the world besides, you know, Inoho and his all-seeing eye, he knows. Like, you know, they think it was the real princess that said that. So, there's some issues here with that ending. So, yeah. It seemed like, in this episode, they let us know that Inoho is going to be fine. So,
rejoice!
Yeah. Like, the writer said at the beginning of this episode, even though Inoho was having issues with his eye and he was breaking down and stuff, he collapses, he gets looked at, and then the doctor dude, he's like looking at Inoho, he's like, oh, he expanded, you know, the range of his eye or whatever, and he did it without my permission, but, you know, it's nothing life-threatening, so don't worry. That's what the doctor said in this episode. Nothing life-threatening. Nothing life-threatening.
Rejoice!
Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. So, we now know that Inoho is probably not going to die, like, by the eye, because of that. I mean, that was one of the main reasons why there's a threat of, you know, like an enemy or different things like that for the end of the series or setting up for a tragedy is because Inoho most likely could die because his eye was killing him. He is becoming the Terminator. And kind of find out it's nothing life-threatening, so don't worry. Just everybody, let's not worry about the couple episodes back when we were worrying about Inoho hoping he might not die. Don't worry about that. You can cast that aside. Inoho is fine. Let's just, you know, be happy with that. So, one thing I will say, Slain in this episode. Slain didn't really have that big of a role in this episode. Like, he was kind of sidelined majority of this episode. And I'm guessing because the main point of this episode was setting up for the finale. Like, next week is the finale, if I'm correct. Next week is the final episode of Aldnoah.Zero Season 2.
Rejoice!
And when we're done with the series, like, there's not going to be any Season 3. Supposedly, from what I know of. So, yeah, next week is the finale. Are they going to be able to handle everything? Because, I mean, now you have it to where, rejoice! I'm Kotomina Kire! You know, died in this episode. And the princess assumed the throne. A final war is going on. All-out attack on both sides. About to kick the shit out of each other. Inoho's got a new mech robot about to go in and kick some ass. And then you also have it to where Slane's probably going to be going in with his, you know, Farsis and try to kick the ass against, you know, Inoho. So, yeah, it's set up for the final battle, and that's what this episode does. That's exactly what it does. Slain is sidelined majority of the episode to just set up for the final battle. And I wonder what is going to happen, because there's a huge range of characters in Aldnoah.Zero. Like, there's so many characters. A lot of characters. And with, like, one episode left, there is no way they're going to answer all these different plot lines, like with the coming to the characters. Like, there's so many different subplots with some of these characters that it's kind of upsetting that some of them are going to be just axed out of the equation. Like, you know, Marutai, you know, the post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, soldier. I forget his name because he's literally irrelevant in Season 2. He really is. And so, yeah, it's really upsetting to see how some of these characters are just getting shafted to the side. If we're not going to get any conclusion on them in next week's episode, so kind of upset about that. But yeah, that's the episode. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.